name is Beatrice Odongo. We are at the River of God Church. I am the children's pastor here. We are here for the Nione training. Like any church, we do have children who are able differently. Most of the time, when we are working with children with special needs, we tend to think that they're a discipline challenge.
We have people with ASD in our midst. There's a lot of misconceptions about ASD amongst Africans in general. And
we don't reach out to them the way it's supposed to be because of the situation that they are in.
This training, it helps us see into the mind of the child and realize that some of what we may look at as indiscipline may be something totally different.
And for me, this training was an eye-opener that people with ASD, they're normal people, yeah? They're just able different, they see things differently, they perceive, they receive information differently. So for me, what I would take out and just go and share with people is that these are normal people. Let us accept them. They're trying to fit in, and it's not easy for them. So if we can learn about this condition and just to be receptive and acceptive to them and try to make them, easily fit in as easily as possible.
And also sometimes there may be a child doesn't have language. And one of the things that we talked about was using pictures so that the child is actually able to connect a need with a picture.
The things I've learned is that they process things differently. And by processing things is how maybe using their senses, like the sense of hearing, sense of sight, sense of touch, and all those things. One of those things is that when you see a child and you can actually pick that this child is autistic, is number one, trying to look around what could be that point that they are feeling agitated or making them feel uncomfortable and all that stuff, and just try to address that issue. Instead of, rushing to this child to make them, conform, because when you sort that out, you kind of meet them at their point of need and make them, calm and just, feel comfortable.
It's sad that the children are actually with us, but they're also part of the enriched people groups because they come, or maybe they don't come, or maybe when they come, we don't actually interact with them long enough to be able to share the gospel. So I feel that this particular ministry is something that, as the Church of Christ, we need to avail ourselves to such training, because there are children who come into our space and they walk out, and they come in and walk out, and they're never reached with the gospel. Or even parents who maybe at some point they stop coming because maybe they feel that their child is not being reached or ministered to. So we are losing out not just on children, but maybe even on families. Because after some time, if a parent sees that their child, maybe people think that their child is just indisciplined, or maybe they feel that their child is left out every day and not ministered to, they'll stop coming. And that means there's someone who is part of the body of Christ who is not getting any ministry.
One thing about the training that I really loved is how they explained bit by bit. So you see where the disconnect is, and made us understand this is why this child is acting like this. This is why this one is behaving like this.
At least we can now understand them, and we can also have a good knowledge on how to go about reaching out to them effectively.